All right. I'm Sohini Chattopadhyay. I'm an assistant professor in the history department focused on South Asia and history of science and technology studies. And my story is the case of the Better Tampon. And very soon you're going to see the size of a tampon way bigger than me. There it is. It's going to get bigger, folks. All right. So if I asked you this question, how do you design a good tampon? What would your answer be? That was a predominant question Andy Burkett and I asked in our History of Science and Technology Studies class, STS 101 as we know it today. And in that, our focus was to encourage students to think about the social ramifications of something that is the size of 3 milliliter to 15 milliliter and probably 4 to 6 inches at the most, at the biggest. So this was a collaborative and interdisciplinary experience and class. I taught this class with Andy Burkett from English. I'm from the history department. And Jen Curry here actually gave us the suggestion for this talk because she wanted to talk about feminist technology, car crash. And what ended up being is this. Jen Curry suggested our readings. Andy Burkett and I taught that. And we focused on this book, Feminist Technology. And unknown to Jen Curry and Andy, I had written an article on sanitary napkins long time back, so I was like, woohoo, this is a great moment for me. And what happened was that the students were really engaged. They really brought in all the questions that we had discussed about societal ramifications of technologies that are so intimate and useful for us. And we spoke about history in class. For example, Victorian age. Why do we need tampons? When did women's blood become shameful? And then question of culture, decency. Why should women's blood be hidden? Location, variations across the world. I'm a historian of South Asia. So did imperialism homogenize the idea of shame across the world? Then the history of shame. Who decided menstruation was shameful? And of course, economics, all of us know of the pink tax, we are really paying it. How does capitalism impact access to necessary products? And of course, fundamentally, we also discussed the questions of how does technologies like tampons actually allow and enable women to work in the workforce while they were working within such societal ethos. And what happened was fascinating. This was like, my aha moment. But the students decided to connect society with the object tampon, and they felt surprise. They spoke about justice, embarrassment. They were hesitant to talk. They really spoke about decency, and they were very passionate. And just quick trivia, the male students took a while to have the conversation, but the women really took the floor. And this was, for me, a moment of collapse of sorts. Collapse between disciplines, between the relationship between student and faculty, and all of us ended up creatively being in a space to think about the society that surrounds objects and technologies. Again, another big tampon. So what did the students design, you will ask? Now, the students really didn't focus so much on the design itself of the tampon, even though there are scientists that are thinking about it, as you should know. What they really focused on was question of equity, access, and marketing. And they brought in these societal ramifications of an object into the idea of design itself. Questions like, how can we make tampons available for everyone? Questions like, what are the ways in which we can make them accessible to different demography, different countries? And at the same time, enable thoughts around shame and body. And these are, of course, all related also to questions of marketing. How are advertisements of tampon going to look like? What is it about the blue liquid, and so on? So yeah, so that was my case of designing the tampon. And I'm a huge Nancy Drew fan, so this really worked out for me. Thank you very much.